My name is Alan McNulty and I'm the telc exam coordinator. Today I want to show you how to organise an exam in compliance with the telc regulations. A good plan is the key to success. You have to register the exam no later than 30 days before the set date. Exams for level A1 can be registered up to 12 days before. You should register the exam online for reasons of data security and because that way you can view the results more quickly. Start organising your rooms and other preparations well ahead of time. You will need a room for the exam, a waiting room and a preparation room. For the duration of the exam, all jackets, phones, scan pens and other personal items will be collected and stored outside of the examination room. For the written exam, you will need a player for audio CDs in order to take the listening comprehension examination. Don't forget to check the device ahead of time. If you have more than one group, please remember to book more rooms accordingly. For a written exam with a maximum of 26 candidates, you will need at least one invigilator. Since you are personally responsible for ensuring that everything is above board at the exam, it is advisable to have at least 2 invigilators in each exam room. As a telc examination centre, you are of course aware of this, but you need a telc licensed examiner for an oral exam. You can find more information on this in the telc community. Please make sure the examiner's licenses are up to date. Exams taken by examiners without a valid license will not be evaluated. As a rule, the telc exam documents will arrive at least 6 days before the exam date. If that isn't the case, don't panic. Get in touch with the telc headquarters and they will be able to help you. I don't need to tell you, all the exam documents are highly confidential and must be stored securely. Please lock the exam documents in a locker from the time they arrive until the exam starts. Pack 1 of the exam documents needs to be opened and checked directly upon arrival. Packs 2 and 3 also need to be checked immediately, but these must be kept sealed until the day of the exam. On the exam day, it is important that all the rooms are well signposted. All candidates have signed a contract with you for the exam. Nevertheless, it is important that you check their identities on the day of the exam. You should do this carefully as there are many creative ways of deception nowadays. I recommend having your own room where you welcome the candidates on the day of the exam and carry out the identity checks. All learning aids, learning tables and learning posters must be removed on the day of the exam, and all chairs must be arranged at least 150 centimeters apart from each other. You are not obliged to provide pencils, erasers and sharpeners, but it is important that you provide a clock that all candidates are able to see at any time in order to check how much time they have left. Candidates must take off their own watches during the exam and lay them on the table. You should pay particular attention to smartwatches. These are watches that have smartphone functionality. Make sure to collect those as well. I, as the exam coordinator, am responsible for everything involving the examination. I may not always be in the room on the exam day, but I'm always available. Shortly before the exam, I will meet with all the supervisors and invigilators to brief them and discuss the schedule. I provide everyone with all the guidelines for conducting the examination and the examination regulations. Please have your staff confirm in writing that you have briefed them. If I employ external supervisors or invigilators, I will also check their identity. The exam organization involves compiling a complete list of candidates. I would recommend using the telc template for the online candidate registration. And you've saved yourself one more task. Of course, candidates are not allowed to choose where they want to sit during the exam. You should make sure that friends or family members do not sit together. Create a plan that you can use for this exam, and afterwards you must send it to the telc headquarters. If candidates wish to take notes, please provide enough stamped paper. This could be especially useful for the higher level learners. Now the exam is about to begin. Make sure it's quiet and stay calm no matter what happens. The briefing on the telc exam instructions is very important. Please take your time to point out the formalities and the examination security procedures to the candidates. Please make sure that all candidates enter their personal data correctly on the answer sheet. For the exams Telc Deutsch B2 and C1 Hochschule, the candidates must also enter the number of their personal written assignment. To be safe, the supervisor must check and enter the respective assignment number on the seating plan. Of course, it may happen that candidates do not adhere to the exam rules. We have compiled a few situations for you here. Remember, smartwatches are something you need to watch out for. Also, people who arrive too late for the exam will, unfortunately, no longer be allowed to participate. If a candidate has brought a mobile phone into the exam, please make sure that it is not used for photography. If a photo has been taken with it, all pictures must be deleted from the mobile phone immediately, and if the candidate refuses, please note this down in the record form and inform the telc headquarters straight away. Please make sure there is no communication between the candidates during the exam. Also, watch out for classical hidden cheat sheets, which are still a popular deception method. If someone refuses to leave the room after attempting to deceive you, please remain calm and call for backup as needed. Please don't forget, toilet visits must always be accompanied by an invigilator or an assistant. Of course, they should also check that room beforehand. The invigilator will also record the toilet visits on the examination record form. So, the written part of the exam is done now. All answers have been entered on the S30 answer sheets and all of them have been filled in correctly. Please check all examination booklets for completeness in the exam room before anyone leaves the room. Off to round 2. The oral exam should also be organised thoroughly and in good time. A precise timetable will help a lot. The plan should be hung up so that it is clearly visible to all candidates. You can also specify who candidate A and who candidate B is. Please make sure that candidates do not have mobile phones in the preparation room or during the exam. Candidates who have already taken the exam must not have any contact with candidates who still have the exam ahead of them. Candidates who have taken the exam should leave the building as soon as possible. Of course, you already know this, but just in case, dictionaries have not been allowed since 2016. There will always be an invigilator present in the preparation room. The candidates are not allowed to speak to each other in there. Please make sure that it's also quiet there. The preparation time must not be exceeded. Everybody has to be given the same conditions. Exam day is over, but my work is not quite done yet. Now all the documents must be checked for completeness. Has everything been entered correctly? Are the record forms filled in correctly? Is the seating plan complete? Are the answer sheets sorted alphabetically? And is there a stack for each sheet? Double check to make sure all the exam booklets are there. Now put everything away in a locker. At the very latest, the exam documents must be sent to the telc headquarters the next day. The exam documents are now going through the process of being evaluated. If you uploaded all your candidates' data beforehand, you may have a look at the exam results online right away. A few weeks after the exam, you will receive a package with the certificates and the results. Just stamp and sign them. Finished! Let's give out those certificates. It's actually quite easy. All you have to do is invest a bit of time in organising everything. And if you have any questions, look at telc.net. Now I wish you all the best with your telc exams.